Have you ever received your paycheck, paid your rent, bought groceries, covered your bills, maybe spent a little on food delivery or shopping, and then looked at your bank account and thought, where did all my money go? You are not alone. This happens to many people every single month. They have good intentions. They want to save money. They want to build an emergency fund. They want to pay off debt, invest for the future, or stop living paycheck to paycheck. But by the time everything else is paid for, there is nothing left. That is exactly why the pay yourself first system is so powerful. Now, let's understand this in a simple way. Paying yourself first means that when money comes in, you set aside money for your own financial future before you spend on everything else. Instead of saving whatever is left at the end of the month, you save first. Then you live on what remains. That one change may sound small, but it can completely change how you manage money. Most people use this system without even realizing it, but in reverse. They pay everyone else first. They pay the landlord, they pay the electric company, they pay the phone company, they pay the grocery store, they pay the credit card company, they pay restaurants, subscriptions, gas stations, and online stores. And after paying everyone else, they hope there will be something left for themselves. But here is the problem. Usually, there is not. The pay yourself first system flips that order. It says, before I pay everyone else, I am going to pay my future self first. That may mean putting money into a savings account. It may mean adding money to an emergency fund. It may mean contributing to a retirement account. It may mean setting money aside for debt payoff or a future goal like buying a car, moving into a better apartment, starting a business, or building financial security. The main idea is simple. Your future matters, so you should be first in line. Imagine you just received your paycheck. Let's say your paycheck is $2,500. Most people would first pay bills, buy groceries, spend on transportation, pay subscriptions, make minimum debt payments, and then see what is left. But with Pay Yourself First, you decide in advance that maybe 10% of every paycheck goes toward your savings or financial goals. So before spending anything else, you move $250 into savings. Now you have $2,250 left to manage your bills and lifestyle. At first, this may feel uncomfortable. You might think, but I need all my money to cover expenses. And that may be true if your budget is extremely tight. But here is the important part. Paying yourself first does not have to start big. You do not need to begin with hundreds of dollars. You can start with $10. You can start with $25. You can start with 1% of your paycheck. The amount matters less than the habit, because once you build the habit of saving first, your financial life starts to move in a better direction. This is where many people make a mistake. They think saving money depends on motivation. They say, I'll save more when I feel ready, or I'll start saving when I make more money. But saving is not just about income. It is about systems. A person making $40,000 a year can build savings if they have a strong system. And a person making $100,000 a year can still be broke if they spend everything before saving. Pay Yourself First works because it removes the need to decide every month. You are not waiting to see how disciplined you feel. You are not depending on leftover money. You are creating an automatic rule for your money. Now, let's talk about how to actually use this system in real life. Step 1 is to choose what paying yourself means. For a beginner, the first goal is usually an emergency fund. An emergency fund is money you set aside for unexpected expenses. This could be a car repair, medical bill, job loss, home repair, or urgent travel expense. It is not vacation money. It is not shopping money. It is protection money. Think of it as a financial safety cushion. If you do not have any emergency savings right now, a good first goal is to save $500 or $1,000. That may not cover every emergency, but it can stop a small problem from becoming a credit card problem. After that, many people work towards saving 3 to 6 months of basic living expenses. That means enough money to cover rent, food, utilities, transportation, insurance, and important bills for a few months. Step 2 is to decide your percentage or amount. You might choose 10% of your income. That is a common starting point. But if 10% feels too hard, start smaller. Maybe you save 5%. Maybe you save $50 per paycheck. Maybe you save $20 every Friday. The goal is to choose an amount that challenges you but does not completely break your budget. Let me give you a practical example. Suppose you get paid every 2 weeks and your paycheck is $1,800. You decide to pay yourself first with 5%. That means every paycheck, $90 goes straight into savings. In 1 month, that is about $180. In 1 year, that is over $2,000, not including any interest. That is the power of a simple habit repeated over time. Step 3 is to automate it. This is one of the most important parts. Automation means the money moves without you having to manually do it every time. You can set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account on payday. Or you can split your direct deposit, so part of your paycheck goes directly into savings. This is powerful because when you do not see the money sitting in your checking account, you are less tempted to spend it. You are creating distance between your spending money and your future money. You might have seen this happen in your own life. If money is sitting in your main checking account, it feels available. Even if you planned to save it, your brain may treat it as spendable. But when the money is already moved to savings, it feels separate. It has a job. Step 4 is to build your budget around what is left. A budget is simply a plan for your money. It tells your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. After you pay yourself first, you look at the remaining money and use it to cover your needs, debt payments, and lifestyle spending. This part is important. Paying yourself first does not mean ignoring bills. It does not mean missing rent or skipping important payments. It means you make saving a priority and then adjust the rest of your spending around that priority. For example, if you pay yourself first and then realize your remaining money is tight, you may need to review your spending. Maybe you are paying for subscriptions you do not use. Maybe takeout is costing more than you thought. Maybe your car payment is too high compared to your income. Maybe your credit card debt is taking up too much of your monthly cash flow. The system helps you see the truth clearly. It forces you to ask, can I afford my current lifestyle and still build a future? That question is very important because financial stability is not just about paying today's bills. It is also about preparing for tomorrow. Now, let's talk about common mistakes. The first mistake is trying to save too much too fast. Some people get excited and decide they will save 30% or 40% of their income right away. That sounds great, but if the number is unrealistic, they may end up pulling money back out of savings within a week. Then they feel like they failed. A better approach is to start with an amount you can maintain. Saving $25 every paycheck for a full year is better than saving $500 once and then quitting. The second mistake is keeping savings too easy to access. If your savings account is connected to your debit card, you may spend it without thinking. Try to keep your savings separate from your everyday spending account. It should be easy enough to access in a real emergency, but not so easy that you use it for random purchases. The third mistake is not naming your savings goal. When money has no purpose, it is easier to spend. Instead of just saying, I'm saving money, say, this is my emergency fund, or this is my car repair fund, or this is my house down payment fund. A clear goal gives your money meaning. The fourth mistake is waiting until life is perfect. Many people say, I'll start saving after I pay off debt, or I'll start when I get a raise, or I'll start when things calm down. But life rarely becomes perfectly calm. There will always be bills, birthdays, repairs, emergencies, holidays, and unexpected expenses. That is why even a small savings habit matters. Start where you are. Increase later. The fifth mistake is forgetting to increase the amount over time. Let's say you start by saving $25 per paycheck. That is great. But after a few months, maybe you get a raise, pay off a small debt, cancel an unused subscription, or reduce a bill. When that happens, increase your savings. You could move from $25 to $40, then from $40 to $75, then maybe to $100. Small increases can create big, long-term progress. Now, let's connect this to real life. Imagine two people. Person A waits until the end of every month to save. Some months they save $100. Other months they save nothing. Sometimes they even use their credit card because they spent too much. Person B saves $75 automatically every payday. They do not think about it. They do not wait for leftover money. The transfer happens first. After a year, Person B has built real savings, not because they are perfect, but because they have a system. That is the lesson. Financial progress does not always come from huge, dramatic changes. Often, it comes from simple habits done consistently. Pay yourself first is one of those habits. Now, you may be thinking, what if I have debt? That is a great question. If you have high-interest debt, like credit card debt, you still need a plan to pay it down. But many people also need at least a small emergency fund while paying off debt. Why? Because without emergency savings, every surprise expense can push you deeper into debt. So one simple approach is this. Build a small starter emergency fund first, maybe $500 or $1,000. Then focus more aggressively on paying down high-interest debt while still saving a small amount regularly. Remember, this video is for general education only. Your personal financial situation may be different, so it is always a good idea to speak with a qualified financial professional before making major financial decisions. Now, let's make this very practical. After watching this video, here is one simple action you can take. Look at your next paycheck and choose one amount to pay yourself first. It could be 1%. It could be 5%. It could be $10, $25, $50, or $100. Then set up an automatic transfer for payday. Do not wait until the end of the month. Do not wait until you feel rich. Do not wait until everything is perfect. Start small, but start now. And when the money moves into savings, leave it there. Let it build. Let it become your safety cushion. Let it become proof that you are taking care of your future. Because every time you pay yourself first, you are sending yourself a message. You are saying, my goals matter. You are saying, my future matters. You are saying, I am not just working to pay bills. I am working to build stability. And that mindset can change everything. So let's quickly summarize. The Pay Yourself First system means you save or invest for your future before spending on everything else. Instead of saving what is left over, you make saving the first step. Start with a realistic amount. Automate it. Keep the money separate. Give your savings a clear goal. And increase the amount as your income grows or your expenses go down. This system is simple, but it is powerful because it turns saving from an afterthought into a priority. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to start big. You just need to start with a system you can repeat. Because wealth is not only built by earning more money, it is also built by keeping more of what you earn and giving your money a clear purpose. If you found this lesson helpful, subscribe to MoneyWise Academy, where we explain money in a simple way, one lesson at a time.